Well, hello there, Maverick traders. This is Rob Reinhold. It is May 16th. We have one day before the May options expiration. Let's cover what happened today. In this session, we're going to go over the news of the day. We're going to take a look at all the markets. It was a really flat and boring day, so this is going to be pretty short to break down what happened today. We will take a look at where the market is going from here. We always like to wipe the slate clean and take a new, fresh analysis. And I've got 2 bull setups and 1 bear setup for you today.
Disclaimer. This video was created for professional stock and option traders. Maverick Trading is a proprietary trading firm that employs professional traders around the world. Our traders trade firm capital and keep 70 to 80% of profits they generate. All trades and analysis in this video are for professional traders only. If you are interested in becoming a professional trader for Maverick, click the apply button in the video description. Let's break down what happened today.
As I mentioned earlier, it was a pretty boring day today. If we take a look at the final numbers of the day, you can see that Dow was flat. And, part of the news today, and again, I don't even think this is news because I think the Dow Jones is a dumb index, but we actually hit above $40,000 for the very first time in history. It went up by about 10 points after that and then turned around and basically closed flat for the day. We did get some softer economic reports. We had things like housing starts a little softer, industrial production a little softer. None of these are very big reports. So all in all, bonds traded up slightly. Bond yields traded up slightly. It was just a really, really flat day. And as you can see, the rest of the markets, we can see that there just wasn't much movement here whatsoever. There was just not a lot of movement across the board. If we take a look at, things like the advanced decline line, you can see that that was, close to 50-50. Let's take a look at the chart. And I really want to talk about this candle because about 20 or 30 minutes before the day closed, I thought this was just going to be a very simple Harami candle. And a Harami candle is a very, very common candle after a big up day. So after a big up or down day, you typically see a Harami candle. This candle usually looks something like this, where you've got some wicks here and wicks here. It generally trades up in this upper half. This is what it was looking like for most of the day, and then we sold off pretty hard at the end of the day, and you can see we closed at our lows. Ultimately, this doesn't make it not a Harami, but what it's saying is we ended the day on weakness. I think we're going to see a little bit of weakness going into tomorrow. In addition, we also have some earnings after the bell. Applied Materials was trading down. Take-Two Interactive is trading down. We have some fairly big tech names trading down. They're not trading down big, but they're trading down a few percent. It looks like we probably aren't going to get the Harami, which typically leads to another expanded range candle. I think we might have a little bit of weakness tomorrow. That being said, this was a clear breakout. And a lot of times things break out. It takes a lot of energy to break out. You can see we spent a lot of energy to break out. It would not surprise me at all if we made a pullback. But this pullback, we're talking like 30 or 40 S&P points. That's not even 1%. So even if we get a little bit of weakness, softness, I don't see this changing whatsoever. And if we take a look at the NASDAQ chart, the NASDAQ looks a little bit better, but we could pull back. No question about it. But again, this is not going to be a deep pullback. This is less than 1%. Ultimately, I think these markets are still ready to go higher, but I think we probably need a little bit of a break. We spent a lot of energy lately. Nothing of note to point out in the heat map. You can see it's just red and green all over the place. There was really no clear winner or loser in today's action. If we break down the charts are a +3. We're above the 20, we're above the 50. The 20-50 slope are moving higher, so we have to be to +3. This is a bullish market. No question about it. Now granted, we've just had literally like 10 up days in a row. It's very, very common after a big run like this to spend a couple days doing a little backing and filling, doing a little basing. Look, I don't think it's going to be much. I think ultimately we are going to make the next move higher. But is this the best time in the world I've seen for opening up new long positions? No. I think you'd be patient for a couple days and let everything come in. Let's take a look at some potential trades. When you take a look at this group of potential trades, I see a few themes here. Number one, China. BILI, PDD, BABA, those are all Chinese stocks. And if you take a look at all of the Chinese stocks, they've been really, really weak lately. And over the last, I'm going to call it month, they've really sprung back into life. And BABA had some good earnings and actually had a really nice up candle today. I think that's a good place to take a look for some strength in the market if you're wanting to open up positions right here, right now. This Moderna chart is looking really good. Their biggest competitor, Novavax, just basically sold off their technology for billions and billions of dollars. And it got this one really excited as well, along with a good earnings report. You can see that this one is not ready to pull back. We've had this base here for about a week or two. So after this big, great earnings report, we've got this base, and now it's taken off and running. This one looks like it's ready to go. Target, I think you can go up to 140. 140 on a target. You could take a look at like a 130, 140 bull call spread, a 135, 140 bull call spread. If you don't want to be that aggressive, then just do a 130, 135 bull call spread. That's going to get you probably 50-50, 1-to-1. 50-50 chance of being correct. Again, this is just all statistics. And for every dollar you risk, you have the potential to win $1. This chart does not look like it is ready to pull back like the rest of the market. And this is one of those Chinese stocks that I was talking about, Pinduoduo, PDD, and you can see that it also is breaking out of about a 2-week consolidation up to 150. I'm not going to get that aggressive. I think 145. I'm going to do something a little bit more less delta and more theta, but 140, 145 to me looks like a pretty safe little bet here on PDD. Of course, we don't have any idea what's actually going to happen, but that's why we use option spreads, where the risk reward is all very, very controlled. And on the short side, here we've got Exact Sciences. Biotech is looking weak, and we made a trade in FOLD that worked out fantastic. It expires tomorrow. That's going to be a full gain. Here's another one of these biotechs. It just looks really bad. After a drop after earnings, it was not able to bounce up. Remember, the markets have been up the last 5 days. It couldn't bounce up. We've got a breakdown here. I'm looking at a 50 target, 50, 55 bear put spread, bear call spread all day long. That one makes a lot of sense to me. Let's talk about tomorrow. Where we closed and add in the fact that we got some weak earnings after the bell from Applied Material. Let me check on the current quote on this here. Okay, it's trading down $3.50, 1.5%. Not a huge move. We also have Take Two. It's trading down 3%, basically. Probably going to get a little softness in the morning. I would not be surprised if we get a little bit of buying off that softness. It might be soft for the first hour or two. We'll see what happens. I don't expect there to be a +1 or -1% day tomorrow. I expect tomorrow to be a pretty quiet day. There's not a lot of economic reports, not a lot of earnings reports. I think a lot of people, this week was a great week for the bulls on the upside. A lot of people, I think, are just going to pack it in and they'll come back next week. That is the Market Roundup. Thanks for joining me. Goodbye, everybody.